Dear readers of the European Sting, there's one thing that drew my attention last week. The decision of the Governing Council of the European Central Bank not to take any accommodative measure at all to help the European economy stand back on her feet. I mean, this must be the only case since Hippocrates that a doctor enjoys watching the patient in emergency die, while the cure is found on her right pocket. Are those technocrats in Frankfurt too busy with giving the kiss of life to banks that are on the verge of bankruptcy, or they are just being sadists? There is absolutely no central bank in the world that does not perform its role, which is to care for the economy and take measures to tackle the real problems. No one but Frankfurt's dream team. Inflation in Europe is going down below the European Central Bank's target of 2%, and so does Eurozone's GDP. And yet, Mario Draghi does not do what for the Bank of Japan, the Federal Reserve in the USA or Swiss National Bank is a standard procedure: cut the interest rate and print fresh money to help the economy by making euro cheaper. Even though this would help significantly the European economy and especially the suffocating South, Super Mario apparently is not paid €500,000 per year to do the right thing. In fact, he is not able to move a muscle if Angela does not say so. People of Europe, prepare your necks. It seems that the German bankers inside the European Central Bank have bought some fancy thick straws to suck our blood like Count Dracula. Those non-elected vampires that were unfortunately given the power to make political decisions in Europe are fond of the southern crisis, since with the euro being expensive they can cheaply buy assets of countries like Greece, that is running its sales season all year round. Until when will the central bank work bluntly for the German interests? Until when will Europe rot in austerity because non-elected technocrats say so? Apparently Merkel has managed to steal the European car and she has run many miles with it, but she is seeing now the red signal on the dashboard, 10 kilometers to empty the tank. And to her great disappointment, this European car is powered only by democracy. In order to save the banks and serve the desires of the powerful Germans, the European Union has committed the eighth deadly sin: to demolish democracy in the old continent. When entire nations in Europe live under the terrorism of the Troika and they are forced to make political decisions without the slightest public consensus, then democracy has sailed away. Proof of that is the unanimous outcome of Civil Society Day last week in Brussels, organized by the European Economic and Social Committee and other European civil society organizations, that the European Union needs to start again engaging Europeans in political decision-making. But the biggest sign that democracy has dumped Brussels is the fact that comedians and fascists gain popularity in Europe, and get the vote of the desperate Italian granny, that is watching the efforts of a lifetime going to waste for the banker of Reykjavik to drink champagne. Europe is not only a union of 17 banks, but more than anything else is a political union of 27 nations that must live in harmony and democracy. The issue that the EU is facing today is not only financial but existential. Germany has eaten a lot of southern pretzels for many years, but now it is time that the Germans put a muzzle in their mouth for the good of Europe. And if Merkel cannot lose weight because, let's face it, she was never into sports, there needs to be someone brave enough to stop this Germanic gluttony for the sake of everybody. If Super Mario is scared to lose his large benefits and bonuses, somebody else needs to do it. You cannot impose anti-social measures for long in a democratic society without the consensus of the people. People will always find the way in democracy. They have the power to protest by even electing comedians or fascists. The biggest bit for the European idea at the moment is that the European Central Bank wakes up from its beauty sleep and uses its power to support growth in Europe. Otherwise, Germany will have won for once a big war in its history, even though the tanks did not come out of the garage this time, but no one will be able to control the political trash that will come to power and devastate Europe. Until next week, join the hive.